My name is Walter Robert Laidlaw. I was born April 6th, 1931. I was the third of four children born to my father and mother, Walter Malcolm Laidlaw, Grace Adelaide Barton, and they built a little home in Monterey Park, California. And all of their children, with the exception of my younger brother, were born in that house in my mother's bedroom. I was the third of four children. We were all about 18 months apart. We had a very simple childhood. We were always active in the church, and so my dad was not a member, but my mother was a good, faithful member, so she saw that we always went to church. He worked for a living. He started delivering soap for the Los Angeles Soap Company in the Los Angeles area with a team of horses and a wagon, and later they got a truck and so forth, and he worked his whole life for this LA Soap Company. My parents never gave me any money, like an allowance, or you could earn money if you would do this. It just wasn't part of our structure. So I remember earning the first nickel in my life. My brother had a little route to deliver these Saturday evening posts, and he didn't deliver the magazines, so my mother said, "Bob, if you'll go up to Mrs. Copley's house and so-and-so's house and deliver this, you can keep the money." Well, our commission for the delivery was 2.5 cents, and I remember well the very first nickel I made. I was just a little guy. After that, I started having a paper route and a paper corner, and I used to get up at 4 o'clock every morning of the year and ride rain or shine up to Alhambra and deliver my route and come back and hope that I could get back early enough to get a little bit of sleep before school started, and then we'd get up and go. We had 3 goats on our property and some chickens and rabbits and all kinds of things, and I milked goats. I could hit a knot hole with a stream of milk or get my brothers or anything I wanted to, but I milked those goats every morning and every evening because they got milked twice a day. I remember my mother used to make me underwear out of the feed sacks that we had to feed the goats, and I remember my entire life from grade school on that I bought my school clothes, money, but I always had money. I always had enough to do the things I wanted. I had a little nest egg always that I kept in my drawer. My dad, during the war, gasoline was rationed, so he bought this little Powell motor scooter. He was going to ride it to work, he said, and save the money because it got good mileage. Well, that didn't work, but I got a hold of that thing, and I remember one day my mom walked out from the house to the garage, and I had this carburetor completely apart on this little Powell motor scooter. And my mother walked by that and she said, "Bob, you'll never get that thing back together again." Well, I did. I was very mechanical, as my older brother Alan was. My oldest brother Malcolm, he knew how to do everything except be mechanical. So we worked really well as a team. But I really started out my career on a Whizzer motorbike. Paid $89 for a kit that you put on my bicycle. But the forks were bent, so the thing was kind of running cattywampus all the time, and I was up on Angeles Crest Highway with my friend Kenny Mead. He had a Whizzer, and we were roaring down that mountain, and all of a sudden the wheel bearings failed totally, and the wheel flopped and started making all kinds of noises, and we stopped and pulled over, and we thought, how are we going to get home? Well, ingenuity kicked in, so we took that front wheel off and we spread those forks apart and we put them down on the back of Kenny's rear wheel, tightened up the bolts, and here we came down with 2 Whizzers and 3 wheels, just as fast as we could go. I got a driver's license at 14. Of course, I rode the scooters and things even before I had a license. I just would do it, but sneak around town with it. My mom wouldn't let me have a motorcycle. She never really said a whole lot about it, but I knew it wasn't going to happen. So when I bought one of those Indians, I had to keep it over at Kenny Mead's house. He lived up the street. I had it for a while. It was an interesting motorcycle to have. They only made 1,000 of them. So pretty soon I sold it, went on to other things, and I bought my first Harley Davidson, and it was a 1936 Knucklehead. The first Harley that they ever built and sold, it was we called an overhead valve engine. But when I bought my 36, it was full dress fenders and seats and all the rest of it. And I went and took that Harley all apart and put it in the garage. And when they came home, I had it all apart and scattered around the yard and the house. And I put different handlebars and different fenders on it and made it a chopper. So that's how I really got started in the motorcycle business. But I started buying and selling motorcycles and did it for years.